Hello everybody. So I'm making these videos and I want to stress they're for all of us. They're for me so I can keep processing this information that I'm finding and seeing how it's all woven together in a rather complex fashion. And I very much believe this path of us re-educating ourselves about the common law and the maritime law and what's happened to our society. Okay, and I want to stress my life's journeys brought me here from a path of being born into religions, and which are, very much cults. But I want to stress something here, really stress that for us to really cultivate patience, compassion, mercy, and understanding, because all all of us have been influenced by this mechanism of indoctrination and conditioning of our minds, our belief systems, okay? This is a very ancient practice. Please go back and look. I made some videos. If you look at the one about Twitter, what I discovered about this is in the Bible, how language was used. The magic practicing priests of Egypt were experts in the language and the pictorial language, okay? So it is not a coincidence that we are dealing with this legalese and these specific definitions, okay? And the trickery around language is part of this ancient practice used to influence our thought process to get us to voluntarily subjugate ourselves, okay? So I'm very much coming to this topic more, of understanding these processes that have happened and the belief systems that are connected to the Bible. And what I'm seeing is this higher system that is based on lies and deception has linkage to these most ancient satanic cannibalistic cults that I made some previous videos about, that I really would like you guys to watch. And we are dealing with their belief systems. So that's super important for us to understand. These people that we're going to talk to that are part of the police force or our municipality or bylaw officers or the judges and the lawyers and all of them, the politicians, we are trying to communicate with people who have been conditioned without their realization. The process of indoctrination that occurs in the religions is the identical process that has happened to all of us. But it is able to be broken through. We can communicate. There is power in truth. We can reach the hearts of each other. And I believe this is one of the reasons, again, why the lockdown, why the social distancing, why the covering of the face, is this awakening of understanding that's organically happening is what they do not want us to share. Okay? So this video is about is to give some support to everyone who I'm going to share this video to who is maybe thinking about this common law, because I believe that these very high up secret societies that have influenced our system, okay, their belief systems are also linked to the Bible. So we can actually use the Bible to gain insight into their thought process, into their reasonings, okay? And this is empowerment. This is empowerment, okay? So one example, again, what I'm saying is there's a big clue here, because I am a you know, a believer. I'm a spiritual person, like many of us are in different ways, which is beautiful. So the first scripture is in Revelation. A lot of them are in Revelation, and it speaks about Babylon the Great, who sits on or by the waters, okay? And the waters mean peoples, nations, and tongues. Okay, that's us. Okay, and they've converted us into currency. Okay, so there's the link to the waters. The waters are the people, the nations, the tongues, okay? And I was thinking too, even the fact that in the legalese they use and they refer to the straw man as a person, whew, just listen to the word purse, as in the place we carry the coins, the purse, son. Okay? All this language keeps linking back to the commerce of the system. But remember the Constitutional Act of Canada from the 1800s, and then is whereas Canada is founded upon the principles that recognize the supremacy of God and the rule of law. Okay, this is really huge, because even this highest structure of this system of the government that has implemented this deception is acknowledging the supremacy of God. Now, their concept of God is not our concept of God. You got to realize this. When they read it, different definitions come up in their mind than in our mind. Like sovereign, okay? The word sovereign. If you look at the word sov, it's actually really savior reign, okay? So it's all connected back also to the belief of Christ. And they have a belief about themselves that they are the chosen. They are the bride of Christ. They are the righteous. They actually believe it. And they think they are supposed to rule us like this, because this government and this judicial system and financial system is embedded in an occult religion. So let's empower ourselves to understand this. Even if the individuals that are working in those fields don't know that, the origins of it come from religion, come from it, and they base their belief systems on the Bible. And that can give us major clues as to how to go forward, okay? So then the next one that I feel is pretty important for everyone who is looking at this common law is that in Revelation, there is a statement that says, "Get out of her, my people." Okay? If you do not want to suffer. Okay? So sometimes we think it's a metaphor. I don't believe it's a metaphor. Okay? I believe it is literally a warning from our ancestors that eventually this structure based on deception, misleading, lies is going to fail, because only genuine, pure truth has power. Because the universe has an influence of divine intelligence, and the power of life flows to the divine, what the divine ultimately is drawn to. And I believe that's why this is so powerful for us. We don't even have to fully understand the mechanism, okay? We just need to begin to trust the process of following genuine truth. And the Bible does tell us to get out of her. Okay, and so we can see that there is a spiritual getting out, but there also is an actual physical process of awakening to the structure that they are using to coerce us all. And I believe we are in the process of actually getting out of her. And something caught my attention. I was listening to a very new interview, and and they're talking about when we're given an order, by a judge, and just like when you go in the restaurant and you place an order, okay, then the person who receives the order says, okay, and here's the bill. Here's the fee or charge it will cost you. Say you order lunch, $20. Okay, so we can actually amend the order and say, okay, I will comply to this order, produce the action you are asking for this fee. And we could give it back to the judge with that amendment. Okay? That's the system they have put in place and are using and abusing us because we have simply not understood the rules of the game. Because it is structured like a game. Oh my goodness. Okay, so the next one I wanted to share with you is, okay, so to get out of her, she sits on many waters, okay? Oh, this one, number 3 and 17. Look at this one again. It says here, I saw a woman sitting on the scarlet beast, right? No, that's not the right, that's her. I wonder where it is. It was talking about the seafarers who got rich by her. Oh, it's 18. I'm in the wrong one. This is these. I'm just shocked to find the commonality between this maritime law, okay, and the dry dock ships where all the flags are flying of a government building is all under this, it's a grounded ship on land. It's just incredible when we start to see what's really going on. And it talks, oh yes, yes, yes. For in 1 hour such great wealth has been laid waste, and every shipmaster and every passenger and sailor, and as many as making their living by the sea, stood at a distance, okay? And were crying out as they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like the great city? This is all metaphor. This is all code for what we're living in. This is the maritime law structure that they have put around the entire world is in the book of Revelation. And with the religions and all the conditioning and indoctrination is spiritualize this all away. But our ancestors and clearly spiritual people knew the eventuality that this would come forth, okay? Now, there's another one I want to go to, and it is pretty interesting because it's speaks about the devil, okay? And it speaks about the devil spewing water from his mouth, okay? And I really have wondered about this for a long time, and I think this also has to do with the common law. Listen to this. The serpent spewed water like a river out of his mouth after the woman. The language out of the mouth, okay? The lies, the twisted play on words, okay? And the water, again, it's a metaphor for the people, okay? And we move on the water. We're fluid, okay? But it says, why did he spew this water out of his mouth after this woman? Now, this woman is a righteous woman. This woman is considered a spiritual woman, okay? So that he might cause her to be swept away by the flood of lies. But it says, but the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened its mouth and drank up the river which the dragon poured out of his mouth. Common law based on the earth. It's happening. This is symbolic language describing what's happening. The common law based on the land, based on the soil, is beginning to drink up this flood of water from this whole system that they've made, this very false, deceptive system. And I wanted to share that with you. And the other thing I wanted to talk about, which I thought was really, you might enjoy too, is that if you go back to the book of Exodus and you look in, I think it's chapter 13, it says that Egypt, the place of slavery, okay? Well, we are realizing that's what this system is. We haven't realized it, we haven't comprehended it, but it is structured on the principle of slavery, that we own nothing and we're subjugated, and that they control and tell us what to do. Okay, so we are at the planetary event of coming out of this slave-structured, oppressive system of deception. It is upon us, okay, as we come into our sovereignty, okay, our personal sovereignty. Something else that's very interesting is when it was time for the people to go out of Egypt, a phenomena occurred. The people asked for articles of silver, gold, and clothing, and the Egyptians let them have whatever they needed. Now, isn't that interesting? Aren't we right now beginning to understand the process that they have used to exploit the financial component of our societies? And through common law, we are understanding also the dynamics of the wealth system. And I think that's an inevitability, that we are in it now. And something else that's really got, I think all of us should think about, is all the accounts, because remember, I believe that the Bible is, there's all these metaphors, and remember the cyclical significance of the Fibonacci being in the Bible is very important, because we can understand patterns like a language. If a pattern repeats enough, okay, it can allow us to have a congruent thought of understanding. And this is super important. And so with the currency and the money, I went and lost my thought on coming out of this system. We are possibly navigating, I know what it was. It was about the water. You see, the symbolism of the water, okay, is when it was time for the paradigm change. There's tons of water events. Noah went through a water event. When the nation of Israel came out of slavery in Egypt, they went through the Red Sea, water event. They crossed the Jordan River, water event. Now it speaks about, again, in the book of Revelation, that the river Euphrates, where the woman sat, this main river, dried up. And when that river dried up, it made way for the army of righteous ones to cross. And I've often wondered about that. Really, I've wondered, what is that? How is that? And now I'm going, well, maybe the drying up of the waters is code for this planetary awakening to this deception of the maritime law that is being used to really just wreak havoc on the whole world. And as we as living souls on this earth realize this, and we withdraw from the system, this Babylonian system, the waters dry up because they no longer can exploit us through our birth certificates for the currency. The currency dries up, the water dries up, and we walk across on dry land because the Israelites went on dry land through the Red Sea. When the River Jordan dried up, they went across on dry land. It's all metaphor and code for this, as hard as it might believe. And I cannot stress enough from my personal life experience, I've talked about in my other videos, of having been in a dangerous cult myself and got free 20 years ago, and having also knowing and meeting a woman who had been in abused by Satanists, okay? The cult that's ruling the world. I mean, she basically told me it personally. She was groomed to be a high priestess. What I'm talking about is really real, okay? And everyone who's looking at this common law, we got to understand all the people that are enforcing the system are themselves victims of indoctrination by this ancient cult. But we can reach them because there is a spiritual component to every living human being. And the spark of life and love is in our heart, and it is the light that can be communicated as long as we realize and we are able to let go of the anger, even though Jesus got angry sometimes too. It's not that it's always inappropriate. So some people that watch this might be thinking I'm making a really big leap to make the connection here. But I'm saying no. Look at the most powerful things that have ever happened, and the greatest atrocities that have ever happened on our planet are linked to religion. Okay? So why would we think this is any different? Okay? And I want to say, please look into the cyclical cataclysms, okay, and the mud floods and the resetting of adding 1,000 years into our timeline, and that there is a group of people that are exploiting this with knowledge, okay? So it's the most powerful thing there is to influence the minds of people is when you mix spiritual concepts with physical things. That is how it can get twisted beyond comprehension. But they are linking their system also to the Bible. So through the Bible, we can understand some of the things they're doing. So the Bible can help us in a very unique way, apart from religion, apart from the doctrines, apart from the beautiful stories of hope contained in there. We can understand how these other people have been manipulated and indoctrinated by the Satanists. Okay? Because the Bible itself is described, it says it's like a sharp two-edged sword that can cut to the, between the bone and the marrow and the sinew. And it's like, and it is genuinely a special tool in this way. Okay? Oh, so I'm really, I believe that this isn't something a single individual is going to be able to do. And I am in Canada, and I want you, everyone who's in Canada that's learning about the common law, I want you to know I'm with you. I will support you. If we decide to do something and meet somewhere, I will come. Because I am 100% convinced we are entering into an organic process of transformation and change that has been promised in the Bible and has been clouded and spiritualized away. And there is a spiritual component to it, but it is meant to happen in a real way on this planet. And we are part of it, and we are living at the time. So enjoy, everybody, and I just look forward to meeting all of you someday. Bye-bye.